Everybody, welcome to Our Future 101. We have a new name for our podcast, and I wanted to get your opinion first on what do you think about the new name?
Well, first of all, I'm glad that we finally came up with something. I think it took us a bit too long, but here we are. We got something, and I like it.
Yeah.
I think it just really describes what, the podcast is about, taking back our future and how we should do that. And I think it's great. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, it did take us a bit of time, but I think it was good that we took our time with the name of the podcast because I think the name is one of the more important things in terms of like searching things up and getting traction with our viewers and really spreading the message, which is what the podcast is all about. So, but I really like it because, it's got the 101 as if it's like a classroom and we're here, teaching in university because most courses follow this type of thing. And it talks about our future because really we are here to talk about the future. We're here to present what the future looks like if we don't do shit. And we're here to present what the future looks like if we actually take action. And that is what we're going into today is we are talking about the solution to our situation. We talked about how crazy the world is and where Canada's heading and where all of these Western civilizations, countries are going with the narrative. So we know how bad it can get, and we can imagine how much worse it can get. And we're here to talk about the solution to these problems because we do have a solution, and we think this is the way to get things done.
I think we talked a little bit last time about the different, solutions that different people and groups of people have been trying, like protests or noncompliance or the legal route. But I think, so we kind of talked about that, but today we're really going to be more specific on what you as an individual can do and how you can contribute to this fight.
Yeah, we're going to break it down. It's going to be extremely simple, step-by-step process of how do we take this down? How do we take down this narrative? How do we really change the culture of our society, especially the student and educational system, because we believe that fighting in the educational industry is one of the most important pieces of our societal structure. Because if that is something that is conquered, where we get our basic values back, like values of family, values of privacy, and values of medical privacy, all of those things, if we get them back there, then the narrative will crumble everywhere else. And that's why we're so focused on defeating it at the schools, and also because we are students. So let's talk about what our members should be doing. And this is really the solution. This is what you should do. Take step-by-step process. Again, dreams don't come true in a day. They don't come true in a week or a month. They take weeks, months, years to accomplish. And this is one of those things. If you are pursuing a career in your life, you're not going to get that accomplished in a couple of weeks. Nothing comes easy in life. And this is one of those things where you have to fight for it. You have to take consistent steps, small steps. They're not crazy steps, small steps over time that accumulate to have a huge impact on our society. And you may think that one little step is negligible, it doesn't do shit, but it does. And it does it in a way where it builds up over time. And we're here to present those small little steps. We're here as leaders because this is what we are doing. And as long as the rest of our group members and the rest of our opposition that is against these mandates pertain to those values and they really hold true to their convictions, we're out of this mess.
I think a lot of people assume that like there's this one like solution that if we just do it, everything will just change overnight. But I think we've probably mentioned this before, but this is a cultural battle that we're facing. So there's not just like this one thing that if we all do it, everything's going to change. It's a process. Like you said, it's going to take a while. We don't know how long it's going to take. Could be a couple months. It could be a year. It could be 5 years. I don't know. But if we slowly all start doing these little things, eventually we could have a pretty great impact on everyone around us and on everyone's mindset and on the schools and how they operate. And hopefully that's kind of our goal, is slowly, make those changes.
Slowly, like a turtle that's heading towards this direction. It's not going to stop. It's not going to speed up. It's going to get there eventually. And that's what we're doing. I wanted to discuss this a little bit further because, if we're taking a look at some of the careers, like some people want to be lawyers, some want to be doctors, some want to run a very successful business, become millionaires. Those things don't happen overnight. They never did. And those things are not done by luck. You're going to take measured steps towards that goal. You're going to go to school. You're going to graduate. You're going to go to university, graduate. You're going to go to grad school, graduate. Then you're going to go into internship and then find a job. All of these things, they take over a decade to accomplish, if maybe even more than a decade, maybe several decades to accomplish for some people, right? And so if you're willing to do those things for your career, and some of these things that we're fighting against, these are your true convictions, and this is what you truly believe. You believe in personal liberty, you believe in freedom, and you believe in personal choice and being able to pursue those dreams and careers, then this is something you should do. This is something that you must do if you're going to live the life that you want.
And if we don't do it, then you may not be able to pursue those dreams of being a lawyer or a doctor or any other career that, has been affected by these mandates and by this whole mindset that everyone has. So we kind of have to do this now, or else our futures in those careers will be affected.
That's right. So how do you eat an elephant?
Wait, what?
How do you eat an elephant?
I don't know. I've never eaten an elephant before.
You eat it one piece at a time.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah. So, this whole battle, any big career, anything you want to accomplish that's this in the future is an elephant. It's like eating an elephant, but you're not just going to look at the elephant like, oh, no, fuck it, I'm not going to eat it. That's too big. No, you're going to do it one piece at a time. And same thing here. It's just breaking it up into smaller steps and making sure that you're doing things consistently.
It seems challenging and it seems intimidating because you feel like the whole world is against you. So it's like, how can we ever change this? Yeah. But I think we might have a chance if we all participate.
I think we have a great chance if we implement these things. If we implement these things, and let's go right into it and talk about what is the solution and how are we going to eat this elephant?
Well, first, reach out to us, CSONT.ca.
Yes, the first thing is get involved, become part of the group, and get in touch with us. And we are going to chat with you. Somebody will get back to you, and we're going to discuss what your involvement would look like. But there are so many positions to be filled within our organization. And just starting off with the social media team, we've got the Facebook posting manager, Facebook groups manager, Instagram messenger, Twitter, printing, digital designer, all of those things. At the moment, we have just a couple of people doing them. However, if you are skilled in those areas, this is something you can get involved with. There's so many other roles to be filled, like video production, editing, video support staff. If you have equipment, that is something that you could also contribute.
All of these positions, the more people we have contributing to them, will help with our success in reaching people online. That's kind of, for social media, for this podcast and video editing and interviews, all of that is part of our, outreach. And right now we only have a few people doing it, and it's challenging trying to juggle all these things for a few people. So, we'd love to have these positions filled so we can do it as efficiently as possible. Because I think, all of these aspects are so important in getting the message out there.
That's right. So what is the solution? The solution is to have a community, establish a community that is working towards one goal, and it has all its resources pulled towards one goal. That one goal is ending the mandates and promoting freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and all the values that we used to have in our society. And when you join this community and you have any skill, any talent that you're involved with, everybody's got skills, everybody got talents in something. And this is something you can contribute to the community. Anything you do, if you sing, great, organize a singing platform where you get people together and you can practice things. If you're good at teaching something, if you are learning, if you're great at math, go tutor other students, go help out, right? So there's so many things to get involved with. Whatever you do, that is a skill that could be used towards fighting against these mandates. And it's done through coming together as a community, because the bigger we grow, the bigger the resistance against these things. And further, we can continue doing non-compliance. We can support each other and have that confidence to just go into class without a mask, go into class without submitting your vaccination status, because those are the things we're fighting against. So that is a way to combat this, and that is the way the mandates are going to crumble. They're just going to become a suggestion instead of compulsory, because nobody's fucking doing it. And everybody's part of a community where they really support the medical freedom, and they support just being free to choose. And that's what we stand for. And that is why you should get involved and contribute your skills and your talents.
Like you said, if you don't know really what to do and you agree with our philosophy and what we're fighting for, contribute anything. And then being a part of our organization and being around individuals that are like-minded and that are going through the same thing will then help your individual confidence in doing those things, like you said. And all of that is important. Right now we have 400 members in our.
Yeah, we have a couple hundred members at this point. Yeah,
and I feel like a lot of them are just scared maybe of coming out and contributing. I don't know, maybe there's lack of confidence or a feeling of being alone. And if you just participating in any small aspect of this organization will boost that confidence, and you can help contribute to a cause that you believe in, and be around people that, lift you up, and that, can make you feel like you're not alone during all of this. And like you said, building a community, which has really been something that's been lacking in the last 2 years. We have been isolated from each other, distanced from each other. We don't get to see each other's faces as often, or through a computer screen. And all these things are breaking apart that community, and then further breaking apart people's confidence and, destroying their mental health. We need to start rebuilding that.
Yeah.
And I think the first step to doing that is just somehow getting involved, even if it's something small, and really just reach out and be a part of this, because it'll make you feel good that you're contributing to something that you believe in. Yes,
well, this is the dilemma. Everybody must do it if we're making it out of this. But if we do this, just one person does it, of course, that's not going to make a change. But if everybody, and there's enough of us, people might think, oh, we're overwhelmed by these, crazy people who think that these things are great. There's enough of us to make a huge change in society. And the only reason we're still stringing along with this narrative is because we are not loud enough. And I don't mean loud by going out and yelling freedom out on the streets, but by being actively fighting against these things, by using your skills, using your talents that you've got or that you have acquired, that you learned. If you know about personal finance, excellent. Go and contribute that, and start a program with CSONT.
We probably have
begin doing
space
those things.
For any sort of skill. You can contribute it somehow to growing this organization.
That's right. Anything that you've got to contribute, and the time it's just absolutely crucial at this moment to start doing that.
Even if we don't have a position for it yet, we can create a position for, or for someone who has some sort of skill or talent or wants to contribute in some sort of way. We can, we're always open to new ways of growing. So if you have something interesting, reach out to us.
You have an idea, get it going. I mean, how did this podcast get started?
Yeah.
I just randomly said, oh, we need a podcast to bring some humor into this.
Yeah.
And then we started it, we took it seriously, and now we're going to be discussing all these issues and talking about these things. That's how it got started. This was not even an idea 2 months ago. And it was just brought up in the chat. I was like, oh, I'm interested in doing that. And that's it. We're running it at the moment, and it's something I really enjoy doing. And it's something that a lot of the guest speakers, they come on and they love a platform where they can just discuss their situations. So it's been hugely successful. And at the moment, we just began posting these things, and we'll see the outreach that we get. And this could lead to something big. And if you are just contributing by putting in your talents and putting in your interests, then that is something you can create. Like you mentioned, we can always create something for you to share your talents and skills. So that is how we make it out of this mess. That is the solution to this situation. And quite frankly, this is why CSONT is one of the only organizations that is just so different than all the other organizations, because other organizations are just focused on the present moment. They're not looking at the big picture, but they're focused on the present moment of, let's get an exemption. Let's get you back into online school.
We just need our education.
We just need to finish education.
Yeah, just need my degree right now.
Zoom out. To take a look at your fucking situation. It's not going to get you out of it, because that is slight compliance. We've talked about this. And slight compliance only feeds into the system further, and it makes our fight harder. And so this is why I believe all the people who believe in freedom of speech, they believe in freedom, in medical freedom, and all these wonderful things, we should all unite under one common goal and begin to pursue it. Put in the work. Just by going out to a protest and yelling things out is not really going to change the narrative, because that is only fueling the fire. So you have to do work. Without work, this shit's not going to get done. Just like any other career, you're never going to accomplish your career without studying or doing the things you need to do, taking those little steps. And these are the little steps. Just get involved, start having fun with our organization. We have a lot of fun people in here that really enjoy our time, and start being part of the community and being really involved. We are doing our CSONT Change My Mind events at the universities. This is the first place to begin. If you are not confident, or you don't want to, you don't have much time to contribute, just come out to one of these events.
Just come meet us.
Just come meet us. Just come say hi, show us your smile, and we'll chat with you just to share your experience. Because I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again. Inaction breeds fear and doubt, and action breeds confidence and courage. So if you actually get off your ass and you go to these events and you start doing things, that is going to make you more confident. That is going to make you feel good about yourself, that you've actually done something and you're contributing towards something big. Whereas if you're just there and you're still sorry for yourself, everybody got problems in their life, then nothing's going to ever get done, and your life will continue. You're going to be sorry for yourself. So that is the way we get out of this.
Just to add on to that point, we also try our best to organize certain social events, because, we need to have enjoyment and entertainment as well, which a lot of that has kind of been taken away from us at the moment. So we have to create those opportunities for ourselves. If you have an idea for an event where you can grab a few people from our group and organize something in your town where you're located, do it, and just meet new people that are, like-minded, and have a little bit of fun. I think we all need that, right? We have our social gatherings, to make it, I guess,
things normal.
Yeah, because we haven't, it's illegal now to
have fun.
To have fun.
To just enjoy yourself being a fucking human.
And to be around other people. It's kind of, I don't know, not allowed, but we have to try to normalize that again.
That's right.
So come out to our social events if you're part of the group, or if,
that's the easiest way to get involved.
Yeah.
And
not just through a screen.
Yes, not just through a screen. We encourage things in person. We love to discuss things in person. We love to just meet people in person because that's how we did it back in the day. And we want things and life to be back to normal. So we have to start acting like it is normal, like it is 2019, summer of 2019, and we're not scared of each other. We don't think everybody's diseased around us, and we feel confident about each other. And all we're doing is just having a good time and pursuing our dreams. And that is the point where we want to get to. And that is the reason for this community, because we organize things so we can feel normal again, because society is not normal.
And they're making us feel like we're not normal.
It's not normal, yes. So just to combat the whole narrative is built on dehumanizing people, that you're not normal, you're diseased, you have to test all the time. You cannot come over for Christmas dinner. These are rare occasions, and people don't even come and see family, or some people get kicked out of their homes. It's ridiculous what's going on, and we need to make things normal again. This is why communities is a way to get out of this. And
like you said, bringing back our values, and one of those being family values. We're not related, but we're becoming a family, right? A lot of people, like you said, it's causing issues between family members, and this is a good escape for people, and it's so important so you don't feel alone and then get swallowed up by this whole crazy world that we live in. You got to break out of your comfort zone a little bit, and it'll be worth it. It will.
Well, it's been worth it for me.
For me as well.
And I love being involved with CSONT, all the things I'm doing, and I'm spending a lot of time with the organization in contributing the skills and the talents. And so it's been excellent. It's been amazing, and I don't regret a single thing about it. So that is several ways to get involved. Number one step, csont.ca. Visit the website.
Yes.
Check out our philosophy. If that is something that you agree with, this is the way out. Now, let's discuss some of the positions. I mentioned all the social media team positions that we have. Could you just go a little bit more detail, describe what you guys are doing in social media team, and just give a little glimpse of what that would involve?
Sure. Right now we have a couple people that are working on social media, and it's not as organized as we'd like it to be because there are only a handful of us. But we have, several accounts. Instagram. We just recently got a TikTok account to try and reach, maybe a different audience, a younger audience. We have a Facebook account, a Twitter account, a YouTube, I believe a Rumble. So there's a lot of accounts there. This podcast may potentially be going up on other platforms as well. So there's a lot that comes with having each one of those accounts. You have to schedule posts for that account. You have to create content that caters specifically to that account. You have to respond to messages and DMs or comments, things like that. And there's only so much one person can handle. So right now we kind of have, I think we have 3 people managing the different accounts, which it would be nice if we had one person to manage posting on every account and one person to manage comments and messages on each account. That's pretty much what we're looking for. It doesn't really require any extravagant skills or anything like that. It's just if you're interested in being a part of social media and posting or even creating any content that you think is worth sharing, we'd love to have you a part of the social media team, and just to kind of take off a little bit of the load from everyone else that's involved with it.
That's right, because when you focus on one particular thing, you're going to get really good at it as compared to when you're split into all of these different directions and all these different avenues that you have to cover, because that is your responsibility at the moment, then of course the work is not going to be as high quality as it could be.
We have it's a little bit unorganized because we only have a few people doing it. So if we had more people, we can just assign specific tasks to specific people, and hopefully that'll help it run, more smoothly. And
yeah, that's the whole purpose here. So and I mean, come on guys, like we have pretty much everybody who is in our age category in the university or just finishing high school or graduate. Everybody's got social media. They know how this shit works, and they know how to deal with all of those things. So I don't think it's a problem of skill. It's more going to be effort and time spent.
And the more people we have, the less time and commitment we'll need everyone to put in, right? Right now, it requires a little bit more time because we don't have as many people. So if we have more people reach out, then it'll just be little tasks for everyone, and will be more efficient.
Yeah. And that is your little steps towards the goal that we're all working towards.
And the end goal is to provide content to make people aware of what's going on in the schools. Right now we have like an email campaign that we're doing where every few days we post emails that students have been getting from their schools, practically being harassed by the schools constantly with these emails saying, you better upload or you will be de-enrolled. And so that's kind of one of the things we're doing to make people aware of what's going on and how students are being treated. So that's our end goal. And the more content we can get up, the better content we can get up, the more ideas we can bring to the table, the better it is for the entire movement and organization.
That's right. Awesome. So let's talk about our CSONT events on campus, just to clear up some of the confusion some of our members might have and other viewers. Basically, what do we do on campus? What is Change My Mind event? What does that mean? It's not a protest. I feel like a lot of people think that it's a protest. We're not going in front of the school and chanting, let us come into campus. We're not. Yes, and that's an important point, because we're not going to the schools to ask for permission.
No, we just want to have conversations with students or staff or even just members of the public that walk by. Just have open discussions with them and say, look, are you aware of what's going on in the schools to students and to staff? And how do you feel about it? Some people are like, yes, vaccines should be mandated and you shouldn't be able to go to school. And okay, that's their opinion. So we're just there to kind of gauge where people are. And some people are like, oh, I don't even know that that's happening. People are getting de-enrolled. Staff are getting fired. I didn't know that. And then, so that's why we're there, to make people aware of that and to open their minds up to everything that's going on and potentially how they can help, right? We've met a lot of people through our events, our Change My Mind events. A lot of people are like, oh, how can I get involved with you? And most of the time, what that leads to is they become a part of our group and our chat, but doesn't really lead to anything more than that. So we have to encourage those who get involved with us to start filling these positions. But the events are great for that, for meeting new people and maybe changing, like just called Change My Mind events, right? So hopefully
good luck changing my mind. But you can try.
You can try.
You can try.
Maybe we can change your mind.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That sounds really good.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes we get yelled at.
It doesn't happen often. The majority of people that I have encountered personally at these events, and I go to the U of T events and the York events, is people are oblivious, or they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't think it's important to them. The general answer is like, oh, but I got vaccinated,
so it
doesn't pertain to me. But it does. Guess what? At some point, this is gonna make you uncomfortable and you're not going to agree with the narrative. And then you're going to want change, but
I had a conversation with someone the other day, and it's like, maybe it doesn't affect you now, but ask yourself this question. When do you draw that line? When will it be too much for you? When are they going to cross your line? You think about that. When is enough for you personally? Because if you let them do this, they'll eventually get to that point. And one day they might do something that you don't like. They might start taking away things from you. So it doesn't affect you now, per se, but it may. And that's kind of an ignorant view as well, I think.
I mean, they're such.
It doesn't affect me, so.
They are such great supporters of climate change and just making sure everything is equality, socialism, collectivism. Let's get everybody together. Let's all do this. And then when it comes to personal choice, personal freedom, let's promote our freedoms that our ancestors have fought in wars and died. Oh, fuck it. It's not for me. It's not my thing. Oh, you can fight for that. Good job. But I'm not part of this. It's ignorant. It is. It's hypocritical because you are in so much in support of, things
Everyone
like climate change and all of that. Yeah. But you're just going to completely ignore an issue that is actually affecting you as well, which is mind-boggling to me. But it is what it is, and there are people like that, and that's okay. That's normal. That's part of society. Nobody said freedom was perfect.
But that's why we love these events. We just get to have these conversations with random people. Sometimes they go well, sometimes they don't. But I mean, I think those discussions are so important. I've had conversations literally on the corner at Robarts Library at U of T with like a random person I've never met before for like 25 minutes. We're just going back and forth, and it's a healthy discussion. We ask each other questions, and it's nothing negative. It's just healthy discussion. Maybe you don't agree with me, and maybe I don't agree with you. That's great. But I think that's so important, right?
Yeah, it's important to have those in-person discussions. And a lot of people, I find that they are like scared of discussion. They're just intimidated that you're talking to them in person. Because everybody's so used to the phone and, texting. But you come up to them in person like, oh my God, that's crazy.
It's so easy to like tell someone online, you're a terrible person. You're killing your grandmother. Like, go get vaccinated. It's harder to do that in person.
Yeah. Well, they won't tell you that. They don't have the confidence to do that. Yeah, so these change.
Come to our Change My Mind events.
Yeah,
experience it for yourself.
This is what you should do. It's fun. It's awesome. You get out and you see like-minded people, and you're going to see what the public thinks because it is not as negative as you think it is.
No.
It is. There's quite a bit of positivity involved.
For sure.
So that's another thing that CSONT is involved with, and that is one of the first steps that you should take. Is come meet us in person, come out to your university campus, or if we don't have an event at your college or maybe one of the smaller universities, excellent. Get involved and become a leader and start organizing some. We had some leaders who did Change My Mind events on their own in Ottawa. And eventually now she's built a huge community, and now they have almost a dozen members who are, coming out and doing things. So that's a way to get started. And if you're a leader, take action. Take the responsibility for that.
If we don't have an event going on at your school, you are more than welcome to try and organize one for your school and become the student rep for that school. We can, just talk to us, reach out to us. We can get in contact with you. And if that's something you're really interested in, go ahead. I mean, we encourage that. We only have... I don't know, we don't have too many student leaders right now, and we have these events going on at a handful of schools, but not enough, right? There's a lot of key schools that
we cover all the key schools, but we don't cover all the schools. I mean, Ontario has a crazy amount of universities and colleges. So again, if you're in one of these colleges that does not have a CSONT event, you're welcome to become an organizer for that and become a leader of this and really take charge.
Again, all you have to do is just reach out to us. We're just human beings like everyone else. We're not scary or anything. Just
And another thing I wanted to mention is a personal experience of mine. I did grow up in Ukraine for the most part of my childhood, and university students were always considered the backbone of society for Ukraine as a culture, because the government better not piss off the university students. First of all, university students do not have many commitments. They don't have family, typically on average. They don't have family. They don't have a house to pay for. They don't have crazy bills. They don't have a crazy job to keep. So if the students are pissed, it's over for the government. They come out and they start doing things. They really get involved. They're really active. They're healthy human beings, so they can do a lot of work continuously. And they're really the backbone of society, because it's hard to get the regular citizen to stand up and do something, because they got a lot of commitments. They got a lot of things to get involved. However, when we're looking at the society here in Canada, it's extremely complacent. Students are very lazy to take any action in their community and seeing what's the community all about. They don't really do these things. They don't get involved, because all they're focused on is, what's the next Netflix show? Oh, God damn it, I got to do my assignment for school. Oh, I want online school so I can cheat, right?
What's that?
It's all based on the laziness.
What's that term? Is it slacktivism?
Slacktivism, is that a term?
I think it's some sort of term, like posting like on your Instagram story. Yeah, it's great, but does it really do anything?
I'm going to search that up. We're going to get the real definition of it.
I think there's some sort of word. It's like everyone claims to be this like activist and like
online
fighting for online. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so here, slacktivism, definition from Oxford Languages. It says, it's the practice of supporting a political or social cause by means such as social media or online petitions, characterized as involving very little effort or commitment.
So I was right. I wasn't crazy.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, you got you nailed it.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm definitely guilty of it. Like, I like to share my opinions a lot on social media. Some people don't like it, which is fine. I don't care. But, some people do like it, and it informs some people, which is great. However, I've realized that is not the way to change anything. Yeah, it's great. You can go on a rant on your Instagram or on your Twitter or whatever, but kind of has to do more than that. And that goes with everything. I actually get involved and do something.
Yeah, this is why we promote things in person. This is why we go and do these things on the ground. We speak to students face to face, because that's what humans do. Yeah. Humans are, it is dehumanizing to do things online and pretend you're a huge activist when all you're doing is just, creating some messages, but you're not actually doing any productive work to change the narrative. So that is what we advocate for. And another thing you mentioned about, you said, I don't care about the negative consequences of posting these things. There's a famous quote by I think it's Steve McQueen that said, I can't find it, but I think he mentioned something along the lines of I live for myself and I answer to nobody, something like that.
Well, I'm working on that.
You're still working on that?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
It was... Yeah, I'm working on it, because it's hard to hear negative things online and that make you feel stupid and make you question everything. There's times where I've been in conversations with people and I'm like, God, maybe I'm the stupid one. I'm wrong about everything, and I just question everything that I believe in. But I've kind of come to the realization that no, these are my convictions. This is what I believe in. Yeah, you don't have to agree with me. That's okay. I'm not here to convince you. So if you have something negative to say, it doesn't affect me as much as it did.
Yeah, they can go on down the road.
And recently I've been getting a lot more positivity than negativity, which is good.
You get what you focus on.
Yeah, things are slowly changing. Or it could just be that people that they just stop like
They just gave
all
up. They're like,
block
we
me,
can't change her.
block, unfollow, which is fine if you don't like what I have to
Well,
say.
that's perfect because then you don't have the negativity on there. They just remove themselves out of it.
Exactly.
So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
See, it just kind of weeds people out.
Yeah.
But you're correct about the Slacktivism. This is a great term. This is what we got going.
I don't remember where I heard that, but it's kind of, that's what a lot of people just, they post a certain thing on their Twitter or their Instagram. It's like, okay, I did my part.
Yeah. Well, it makes them feel like they actually took action.
You did something. Okay, you're advocating for it. Social media is a great place to do that and to spread awareness. But in terms of actually changing things, not really. So you
have to do work to change that.
Lazy activism. It's so easy to just hit repost.
Yes. So what I'm advocating for is for people to start doing work, stop being lazy, start contributing to society. Mm-hmm. And this is the greatest contribution you can make is by making society better, mm-hmm. by at least getting society back to where it was in 2019, where we had things like social gatherings. We had things like you visiting your grandma. We had things like normal interactions with human beings. And if you want to get back to that point, if you want things to be normal again, that is not by compliance, because again, it's not about your health. Mm-hmm. And we've discussed this, but it's not going to be through slight compliance of exemptions. It's not going to be through any compliance, because that only feeds into the system. It is only going to be through doing work, taking action, and changing the narrative. And how you can do that is by getting involved with the community, a community like CSONT.
For example, I think we have a couple positions in, we have a research segment of CSONT where we have some people who, they love to research and they love looking at stats or facts or scientific papers or whatever, that may be their strong, that may be their skill set. So that's something that you can contribute to I think we have a creative writing or some sort of writing.
Yeah. Yeah, we began a creative writing group recently mm-hmm. because people love writing. So mm-hmm. now it's a creating writing group where they're going to write short stories, poems about the narrative and changing that.
We could potentially start some sort of journalism or, media
production.
Yeah. So if you have those skills, we don't have something like that yet, but we can, we'd love to start, those things.
We eventually will, yeah.
Yeah.
Those spots will get filled mm-hmm. one day or another day.
And it's important because we need to start putting ourselves into all these different, I guess, communities so that we can start getting our voices heard. Mm-hmm. For example, like if we're part of journalism now and that whole field, we can start making some change there. And in all these different, on social media, on a podcast, all these different things. So we can slowly start making our voices heard in those different fields.
Yes, that's right. So let's go a little bit further into discussing the students who are part of the group, who are part of even mm-hmm. other groups, and they're inactive. They're not involved. They are just sitting idle. Maybe they say they're busy with things, and that might be true. But let's get into the minds of these people mm-hmm. and try to debunk really what's going on and why they're not willing to get involved. They're not willing to dedicate their time and energy towards something so important as this.
Well, what I think we have to get people to understand is that we completely sympathize with the fact that this is tough for a lot of people. It was tough for me. I'm sure it was tough for you. It's a pretty difficult thing that we're going through because the media and everything is trying to make us feel like we're the only ones and that we're crazy and we're alone. So it's a difficult situation for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It really is. And for myself, before I got involved, I can easily say that I was not in a good place mentally at all. Yeah. And it was affecting everything. It was affecting my studies. It was affecting my physical health, and So I understand that a lot of people are going through that are in this position, and it's hard, with having your job on the line, your education on the line, even maybe having your family on the line because, this is causing tension. So we get that. It's tough. But there's only so long that you can go through that for. At some point, you need to say enough is enough. Just do it for yourself, at least, to make yourself feel better, to give you purpose, right? Because it's a tough time, but you're only going to make it worse for yourself if you just, I guess,
Get
complain
and continue to be negative about
it.
We
can't complain about this. Another thing is we can't sit here and complain about the situation that we're in. A lot of us have put ourselves in the situation. For me, I could have easily just went to the vaccine clinic, got vaccinated, and right now my life would be a lot easier, Or
you started disclosing and waving it around.
Yes.
Hey, I want to get in.
Because I wanted to go to a restaurant or I wanted to go to school. I could have easily done that. I am putting myself in this position. At the end of the day, this is my choice. I know what I'm getting myself into. And coming to that realization has really helped in my confidence. Like, this is my choice, and now I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to follow through with it. Now I'm going to really, I made this choice, so I'm not going to complain about it because at the end of the day, I chose to. So I think, a lot of people have to accept that this is what's going on, and sitting there and complaining about it is not going to change anything. It's not going to make your life better. It's not going to make any of our lives better. So accept that this is what's going on right now. It's really shitty for a lot of us, but we have to do our best to move on. And a part of that is, I come out to these social gatherings, and even though I've been banned from going to any place that's for entertainment, movie theaters, restaurants, concerts, I don't know, anything else, even some frat parties at U of T are checking.
they fucking check for that?
There's been I've heard that some of them were, I don't know for sure. I never actually went to those. But so my point is, just accept that this is the situation that we're in, and complaining is not going to change anything. We have to take accountability for the choice that we made to fight this, but then we actually have to fight it,
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, you made a lot of great points. So I just wanted to go over those and kind of frame it around.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, the first thing to realize about this whole thing is nobody will save you.
No.
Nobody's coming to save you. No crazy politician that's going to just make the world magically really good, and there's no judge that's just going to vote in your favor and now the world is magically going to turn around. None of that shit's going to happen. It's only going to happen when you start taking action for yourself. Now, as you've mentioned, a lot of people are in the position of being hopeless, right? They're depressed, and they don't know where to start. They don't know what to do, and they don't want to get involved because they see this huge mountain. They see this huge elephant, and they're like, "Yeah, I can't eat it with one bite." Where
did you get this eating elephant thing from? Is it a common?
It's definitely a common saying. I have to search it up, but it's just a great reference because everybody's looking at this as such a huge mountain, and it's like, oh, my actions won't do shit, and that's where it gets people hopeless in situations. And even during a career, or maybe you're trying to start a business and you just see so many obstacles ahead of you, you're like, oh, fuck it, you give up on it. And 99% of people give up on their dreams by the age of 25 or by the age of 30. That is the general statistic. But the ones who succeed, the 1%, they succeed because they relentlessly pursue, and they always believe that they will achieve it one day. Maybe it's not in 5 years, maybe it's not in 10, but they will get there eventually. And that is how we have to view this. Is it's not about the time, how long it takes. It's about completing it, because that is the future I want for my children. That is the future I want for the rest of society, is to be able to live in a free world and do the things they love doing and not be told what to do by somebody else. But the first realization to make is you have to accept the reality that is right now. You mentioned that, and that is extremely important, because if you don't accept the reality, you suffer.
Yeah.
If you are pissed off, angry, and miserable about your reality, then you cannot put any work into it. You cannot do any output. And so the first part is accepting reality, and that's probably going to be the hardest step for most people. But as soon as you accept reality, as soon as you start seeing this as not like a terrible time, this is the most fucking interesting time we've ever had in the world. We've never been in a position like this. And our ancestors have never been in a position like this. We're facing a new challenge, and it's really exciting to me that it's such an interesting time. I get to live in my prime years in such an interesting time where I get to take action and contribute to society.
Sorry, just another thing to go off of that. If we want to achieve anything, unfortunately, we have to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Right? And that's something that maybe a lot of people aren't willing to do. For example, a lot of members of our group, their main focus is, I need to get my degree, right? I need to get my degree. Yes, I understand how important education is for a lot of people. I understand how important education is for, our future careers and livelihoods. I understand that. However, we do have to make sacrifices if we want to achieve our end goal. I feel like that's how anything is, right? You need to sacrifice things. You need to sacrifice going to restaurants and bars and movie theaters and traveling. It sucks, but you don't get anywhere by just going the easy way out. You don't. That's not how you achieve anything. Mm-hmm. And I think this might be a really important lesson to all of us, is that, if we want to get where we want to get in life, we're going to have to make sacrifices. We're going to have to go against what maybe everyone else is telling us, just like you were saying in a business. Maybe everyone's going to tell you, you could never start a business successfully. You'll never be able to do that. Are you ever going to have a successful business if you listen to those people? No. So I think this, even though it's kind of a shitty time for everyone, if we realize and understand that this is a time that'll make us stronger, right? And spin it positively, it can really help everyone get out of that, complaining, angry kind of mindset, which I'm guilty of. I'm sure you're guilty of, but we have to come to that realization.
You may be guilty already, yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you're right about this. The reason we're here is because of our collective thoughts. Mm-hmm. The world has been negatively impacted. Everybody has been through this negative thinking and fear, so much fear everywhere you go. You just look at a person's eyes and you can see that they're fearful. They don't know what to do. They're just lost and they're hopeless. And the reason we're in this mess is because of all of our collective thoughts. So there's no reason to blame society. There's no reason to blame this one individual or, the Great Reset or this other thing. There's no reason to blame for that because we made it happen. We are the reason why we're in this situation. And so it is our responsibility to get ourselves out of it. Mm-hmm. And it's our responsibility to take action so that we have a future. And that is what we're fighting for, a future in which we live freely and happily ever after.
The end. Sounds nice.
It sounds nice. And this is something I think we can achieve. And we will achieve. We have to. There's no other way around it. Mm-hmm. So if these are your personal convictions and this is what you believe in, then you will feel a lot better getting involved despite the inconveniences, despite the little things you're going to have to do. What are some other reasons you believe our members are inactive? Some of our members.
Well, lack of confidence, maybe lack of hope. Mm-hmm. Is there really any,
Another one that just kind of came across my mind is a lot of people they like to give up on things when they don't see progress. And progress might not be visible at the moment. And that's the same thing goes with the analogy of like eating an elephant. We're going to go right back to that because it's so fucking perfect.
Yeah.
You know, when you start eating an elephant and you start out biting off like just a leg or something like that, you're like, oh my God, there's so much of the elephant still to go. It's not making any difference. I'm never going to finish this elephant. But it's just one bite at a time and you're going to get there. Same thing with career, pursuing your career. It's like you start off a business, you have one client, you have two clients, and it's like 3 clients. Oh, and one drops out and you have not successful for a while, right? And a lot of people, all of those successful businesses that turned into huge success, they started off like that. They were hugely unsuccessful. Nobody believed in them. And they were just saying, oh, you're crazy for starting that thing. But hey, now they're laughing at everybody because they're one of the richest people in the world and they get to enjoy the luxuries that they do. And same thing goes for our situation today is if you feel like this is not making any difference. Oh, I can't change the world. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's hopeless. Well, you have to keep plugging away because that is the way we achieve things. That is the way you get successful in life. If that is the attitude you have for that and for the rest of your career or anything else you do in life, you'll be unsuccessful in everything. And so you have to have a mindset of, this is the goal I am going to accomplish. It's not if it happens. It will happen as long as I continue to put in the steps one step at a time. And just to point out, like we've had success from our members. Recently, we had a member at University of Ottawa who today, just this morning, went to class maskless without submitting proof of vaccination, without testing, without anything. They signed up for in-person class. They showed up to class and the professor respected their choice. And they just sat there and it was completely normal.
Amazing.
And they had another student sit beside them. It was completely normal situation, just like it would have been summer of 2019 going to class. And that is what we encourage our members to grow a pair and really do some things that were normal back in the day because you paid for your tuition, you paid for this course, you paid for the service. Don't let them kick you out or don't let them put you in online class. Just go. And don't comply.
Going back to that, the fact that we don't see a lot of progress right now and the fact that there's not a lot of people don't have hope that any of what we're doing is going to change anything. Those small victories can bring you hope. So just try. It's just worth a shot. Maybe you'll fail. Most likely, like a lot of us are going to fail throughout life and that's just reality. But eventually we're going to have a success like that. That student, in the first semester, did not have that same experience. We actually had her on one of our previous podcasts and went through her experience that was videotaped. And it's awful, right? But that didn't stop her. It was hard and it was discouraging, but she took that and she tried again. And here we are. And now there's a small victory for that individual and for all of us, right? So we need to at least just keep trying. We have to just try.
Yeah, we have to continuously try plugging away, just like an entrepreneur would try different business models, different business ideas. Let's try promoting here. Let's try doing this. Let's try changing this tactic. And that is what we're doing. We're plugging away at every opportunity that we can. And one of the most successful ways to do it is to do it visibly. By taking your mask off, you are showing you're non-compliant. And by saying, hey, I'm not doing this because that is my choice. That is what I believe in. And I am not diseased. I am healthy. I don't have any symptoms. And therefore, you should not be afraid of me. So that is what we promote is brutal non-compliance, brutal civil disobedience, where we simply refuse to be invisible and we refuse to be kicked out and discouraged or be shunned away from society. We don't care about those people who are supporting this narrative. We're not going to be affected by that. Just like a successful entrepreneur is not going to be affected by the negatives that come along. He's not going to be affected by all the people criticizing him. He's going to listen to those people and make adjustments, but he's not going to take it personally. He's just going to make adjustments to make his business even more successful. And that is the way we have to look at it, is that they're criticizing us for this. They're criticizing us for that. Fuck them. Just do what you need to do. Show up to class. Take your measured steps one day at a time, and we'll get there. That is the solution, and that is how we combat this.
Another thing is, if you're going to have these beliefs and if you're going to take this stance, own it, right? Just own it. And I know you'll get hate for it, and a lot of people may not like you for it, but just own it and you will feel better. Don't try to hide it. Don't be like half and half, where it's like you agree with us, but you won't say anything about it, right? If this is what you believe in, just own it. And and then it'll come. The confidence will come over time. And I don't know. I feel like that's another thing. A lot of people are trying to hide what they
You're never going to please everybody in the world, or anybody or everybody around you.
And the sooner you realize that, the easier it gets. Not everyone is going to agree with you. Not everyone is going to like you. And that's okay. It's who cares? This is our life that we're fighting for. This is our opportunity that we're fighting for, our future that we're fighting for. Who cares what people have to say about it? And I know that's easy to say, and I struggle with that myself, caring about what people think. But it's something we should all work on, right? Screw what other people have to say, right?
That's right.
Just if this is what you believe in, if this is what you strongly believe in, own it.
Yeah, because if you're going to fall short because of some criticism, I don't think anything in the world would have ever been done.
Exactly.
Everybody would just fail. There would be no Elon Musk. There would be no successful entrepreneurs around the world, because they would just all fail and succumb to criticism and just give up on their dreams. But the reason they got there is not because of luck or because they were born, super wealthy and this is why they're so successful. It's because they did fucking work. They worked their asses off, and they worked way better than everybody else in the field. And that's why they're on top of it, is because they outdid the competition because of their passion, because of their convictions. And like you said, you have to be true to your convictions if you are going to follow down this path, and you have to own it. At the end of the day, even those people who are expressing negative things towards you, that is a reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment, because they're angry and bitter at themselves for not taking action, for being complacent, and for not being you. So they're angry at themselves, and they're projecting, in other words, their anger onto you.
How I like to think about this, and what's kind of getting me through this is just another obstacle that we have to deal with and face in life. And it'll just make us stronger. We'll come out of this stronger. And as soon as we accept that reality, it helps you get through it, and it's helped me get through it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? It's
That's right.
kind of a cheesy saying, but it's true. It's so true. We're learning now the importance of speaking up for the things you believe in, staying true to your convictions, and that will, I think, benefit us later on in life. If we can get through this, and we can handle all the negativity and all the criticism, if we can handle that now, especially as young people, we can handle anything later on.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta spin it and make it positive. Otherwise, the world is too depressing nowadays. So we have to look forward to the future. Yeah.
Because I think the future is so bright. Because the only way we get out of this is when people actually start taking responsibility for their own lives. And I'm so fucking excited to see all these individuals walking around, taking care of their finances, taking care of their children, taking care of their families, and being responsible for their decisions in life. And that is what we lack in our community. That is what we lack in our society. And that's why we're in this situation.
100%.
We have created this. We're going through a rough time, and it's going to create strong people out of it. And So I'm so excited for the future of what's going to come, because the only way we get out of this is by taking action, is by becoming responsible, and by taking care of our own lives, not letting anybody else do it for us. So I'm really excited about the future. What are your thoughts on the future, and how do you look towards that?
Well, like I said, I see this, all of this, as kind of a blessing in disguise almost. It's a tough thing that we're going through, but like I said, it's something that's going to make us stronger and equip us for whatever life throws at us in the future. Because life is not perfect. You're going to have challenges, and it's not going to be this like smooth road where there's no obstacles you have to face. And this will equip us for any other obstacles or challenges that life throws our way in the future. And like I said, if we can get through this now, it'll help us get through other things later on. So I agree with you. For a while, I thought, oh, we're all screwed. We're doomed. We are screwed. But now I see it differently. And even just for my own personal life, maybe our society is screwed. I don't know. I don't know what the future looks like. But for me, I'm taking this as an opportunity to grow, as an individual. If you look at the person that I was a year ago versus the person that I am now, like I'm doing a podcast right now. If you told me 6 months ago, this is what I'd be doing, I'd be like, no way. So I've become stronger. I've become more confident, and that's just me. And I think that if you start taking responsibility of your own life and realize that nobody's going to come save you, and realize that, I'm choosing to be in this position, so I'm going to own it, and I'm going to own what I believe in, it'll just only benefit you, and it'll make you stronger, and you will grow as a person, and then that will benefit you in the future.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
I try to stay positive. And look, it sounds great, and it's not always going to be positive. And I still have days where I feel angry and upset, and I see something on the internet and it pisses me off. And then I get into this horrible mood, and I have those days. I'm not perfect, but I try to remind myself that this is just another thing that we have to get through in life. And if we just take accountability for it.
From what it sounds like, of course, we all have our off days. We all have days where we doubt ourselves, and we look in the mirror and we're like, oh, what the fuck am I doing? And it happens. But from what you're saying is that you're looking at life positive at the end of the day, because you get yourself into that mindset of like, struggle is good. It is a good thing for you because it's growth. And what's the most important thing for a human being is growth. It's becoming better each and every single day. And that is what you're focused on. And that is why you remain positive, you remain confident, and you show up to these podcasts and you have a good time. And despite all the things and the circumstances that we have in life, we're still having a blast over here. We're still enjoying life, at least a lot more than the general public does. And so if you believe in our message, if you believe in our philosophy, we have the solution. So come join us and take action with us. The first step to do is to reach out at CSONT.ca, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you.